Like I said, this is just regular candy conversation here. Like I said, we're just recording it this time. Shit.
We could be our true self, you know.
We always our true selves.
We could be our full innies. Our innies can be outies.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
A little callback.
Good reference.
Yeah.
Good reference. So you are invited to special ceremony in Houston.
Oh my goodness.
So do me a favor and take me on a journey with you from the process of getting ready, what this journey entails, your experience at this journey, and when you receive your accolade, where your mind was then.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Because I was like, we started this whole journey with Hard Drive over 3 years ago. So, you know, and film festivals was really not on the radar at all because originally it was just streaming, pitch. And then I was like, you know what? Some good promo could come from doing the film festivals. So, you know, I did have my private premiere. And then putting it in film festivals, you know, a lot of them, they want everything to be a world premiere. So a lot of things we were kind of disqualified from or, you know, not able to submit to because we did kind of have our own premiere. We did kind of put the project out there had a little more visibility than I wanted to. So I didn't really know what to expect applying. We've gotten like, you know, good feedback, got accepted to a couple and, but this was the one I was going to go to because my sister lives in Houston.
Nice.
And so I was like, you know, strategically trying to apply to ones that I know, like if I go, I got a place to lay my So National Black Film Festival, this is my second go round with them. I was accepted as an actress in a film, Follow Her, like about 2019.
Okay.
And that same year, I had made Porcelain Chef.
Good one. Yep.
And I did not apply to NBFF. I applied, I don't know what was, in this era, back in 2019, I was, and this is deep, and this is, you know, we could talk and whatever, but I was seeking white validation at this time.
Okay.
And so, and that's hard to admit, you know, because it's like, I'm Black, I'm proud to be Black, but there is levels to like accomplishments. And so I really was only submitting to like white festivals. I didn't like, and I was like, well, Porcelain Chef may not be like a Black film. So I also was trying to like target my audience. So I did not, NBFF was not on my radar. But I did go to World Fest Houston, and honestly comparing the experiences from the one that was, this is the oldest film festival in the U.S. that I got into. Steven Spielberg won it, his first film festival. It was 52nd or 51st annual. And it was like, what was that festival? Water Festival or whatever? Like compared to NBFF, like the festival where they went to the, I think Ja Rule and all of them, Murder Inc. or something.
Fire.
I said water. But yeah, so it was like Fire Fest compared to NBFF. That's the comparison of the experiences. So both of my in-person film festival experiences have been in Houston, and one was at a Black film festival, one was at a traditionally Caucasian festival. And I honestly had more time. I had a better time being around my people. Of
course.
And I felt more celebrated there because at the previous one, when we went to go get our award, they didn't even call our name. So we got the award like 2 days later at one of the boat events. We had like to go to like see the rocket and go to a yacht. They said it was going to be a yacht party.
Right.
It was not.
It was stale.
It was not. It was not a yacht party. What this was us sitting in front of a yacht having barbecue.
That's trash. I said it was a yacht party. I ain't say we're going to be on the yacht.
They were like, oh, we can't board. There's something going on with I'm like, the waters are fine. Like,
y'all played us to get people here.
Yes. Yeah. So, you know, and these film festivals make a lot of money. So, you know, but for this one, like, I had no cost for attendance. Like, that one I did have to pay a cost to attend. This one I had, you know, no cost to attend. So I get to, I also have I used to have a crushing fear of flying. So that had, like, stifled me a lot in my ventures of, trying to be this jet-setting actress, writer, producer, director. But this time I felt like the vibes were good, like just getting on the plane, boarding the plane. I slept like a baby on the plane. It was turbulence. I didn't jump. I didn't do anything. I was just like, I knew for something. It was like, I know I'm going to do something great. And it was like the biggest piece to me. Like I felt so whole, and I was like, nothing's going to happen on this plane because I have somewhere to be.
Oh.
So, like,
well.
I was like, I got somewhere to be. I got things to do. I got people to see. So God's not going to let that happen to me today.
Yeah.
So I went in there. It felt so good. My sister's boyfriend picked me up from the airport, and I did not even recognize him at first because it's been they were at the Hard Drive premiere, so it had been about a year. So he came and picked me up, and I was like, oh, okay, it's my first time ever visiting her at her new house, and get there, and the first day I was really wiped because it was like a 4-day festival. I ended up only going to 1.5 day. One day I spent like just trying to find the place. You know me, I'm always gonna have some technical difficulties.
Hey.
I was like,
either way, you got it done. No matter the intent, only the consequence, and the consequence is you made it.
Yes, the intent was there, but the first day the intent was not there to go. I was dead tired to the world. My flight was, as at 7 a.m. I had to get up at 4. So I get there. I'm talking it up. We talking all things movies because he's a big movie fan too. And then that night we went to go see Across the Spider-Verse.
Great movie.
Oh my God.
Movie. Such a good movie.
We need to cover that one on the podcast.
Such a good movie.
I'm like, oh my God.
Just such a good movie.
It did not miss. So I did not. I was supposed to wait to see that movie with my 7-year-old.
Too bad.
So I had been waiting.
Life lesson.
I had been waiting.
Disappointment comes early.
Your mama gonna go do what she gonna do.
Your mama grown.
She gonna do what she wanna do. I just realized my mic wasn't back on this thing, but it's fine.
No, but, cool. You sound fine.
So the hilarious part was that I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see the movie because I hadn't seen my sister in like a year. I was like, no, I'm going to go see the movie. I was tired. I was too tired to go to the film festival, but I wasn't too tired to go to see Across the Spider-Verse.
I say you made a good choice.
So we went out to dinner. We went out to dinner, and it was like a really good dinner, but it started like torrentially pouring, like flooding, because Houston got some crazy weather. Yeah, hot and humid, and then pouring, raining. So we were outside eating, and then it just started raining. Then we get downtown Houston is horrible, like parking. Even the day that we went to the film festival, like parking is just horrendous. Like you got to walk a block to find a deck, and then the decks are like $25. So we got somewhere to park. Ooh. I missed like the first 10 minutes. I guess that was my karma for not waiting for Logan. So I missed the first 10 minutes, but it has like a cold intro, so I really didn't miss anything.
That cold intro was fire.
I watched it again though.
Okay.
When I got back, Logan made me watch it with him again. So I've already ran it twice in like the span of 2 weeks.
I'm not mad.
I loved it. I had the best experience. I slept like a baby. Got up the next day. They had a lot of different events built in as far as like, I know I missed the meet and greet because I wasn't even going to be there. Actually, this was day 2 of the festival. The first day, I just didn't. The flight was cheaper just to be to make it a 3-day festival. So I was like, X that. And so this was day 2 that I missed. So, but day 3 and 4 I had planned to go to. So day 3, watch Across the Spider-Verse. I'm waking up. I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling like Miles Morales. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So we get downtown. They had like these workshops, director workshops. That's one thing I like about this festival. It's built in. There's lots of workshops, and your pass that you get for being in the festival gets you into all those things.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to make the director's workshop, the actor's workshop, and they had a writer's workshop. And it was gonna be an all day thing. But I was excited, but then I'm directionally challenged. I got downtown. The address took me somewhere else. I walked around. I emailed them. They did get back to me, but by that time I was like, I'm here with my sister. It's fine. I'm just, I'm spending the day with her. But tomorrow I'm like, we showing in theaters, AMC, downtown Houston. I have to be there. So, day 4 comes around, and I was, first of all, I have to say this. So Houston homeless people are different.
Okay. All right.
We get downtown because we're getting parking.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to park, and we had to park across the street from the theater because they had valet, which was like $25. I'm like, ain't no way we paying $25 to park. So we go somewhere, it's like 10 or 15 bucks, and they're like, oh, they'll validate it in the theater. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I ain't never heard of that. It didn't happen, but that's what they told us. And then, so we were walking, and I had like this big fro out. I got my hair pinned up now, but my sister had got me with some little hair products that she used. I had this huge fro, like my little bell-bottom pants on. Like, you know, the 70s is my thing. I really feel like that's the era I was supposed to be born in. Okay. But so, this homeless guy he was like, man, look at them. Look at them. Nice. Look, man. He was like praising us like we were goddesses. He was like, look. He was like, bro, I'm trying to tell you, cuz. Right there. Look at them. That was the first time because we had to go back to the car because we forgot something. And then I went back to the car after we wrapped because I didn't know there was going to be a Q&A. But then the festival called me back in to do a Q&A. So we had to walk past this man like 3 times. That's not the funny part, because I get catcalled all the time. No, that's not the funny part. This old lady, older homeless lady, she's white. She looked like she on Parks and Recs or something. Big old lady, like the ones you would see at Walmart, like in the little shopping cart with the buggy that self-propels. Yeah. And she was like, she said, oh my God, you're not even that cute.
Oh, shit.
It's like, what? Oh, so, like, after and mind you, the guy still hooting and hollering. His best friend is trying to tell him that we are just kids. He was like, man, them is kids, man. Something wrong with you. And then, so it's like I'm overwhelmed because I got one man yelling, another man telling him that them children. Then I got this other girl. And in my head, I'm like, this is sucking the life out of me just to get to the festival. So I'm like, really, like I probably haven't spoken on this much, but I have really bad social anxiety, and like those situations I always write about them because they're funny in hindsight, but to me they're paralyzing. I was like, I will miss this festival, miss my screening
if y'all keep talking to me,
if they don't get away so I can just cross the street in peace. Right. So anyways, a long story short, we get into we walk in. We went over there, got our festival full access little badge. Finally, you know, after 2 days of being there, get my little badge. We go over. She was like, "Oh no, we don't validate parking, but you can get something from the concession stand." But we were like, "Okay, well maybe before we leave, like basically they take your ticket and you can just get something from the concession stand." So I was like, "Okay, I guess it's better than nothing, like a bottle of water, whatever." So that's $10 that we could get. But we walked in, and when I tell you, the films were so good. Like, they only took like 25 films, I think, 25 films. And that day, I think it was like 15 films playing. So I got to see the biggest day, like when most of the films were playing.
Got you.
But they had, the only thing I would have said that, the only thing that would have been, I would have probably done a little different is that they mixed in docs with shorts, with web series. So it was kind of hard for me to tell what block was. Yeah, well, of course, obviously the docs I know, but like, but when Hard Drive came on, you knew right away it was a TV show. Like this was made for TV, and I will say, the lineup. So the one that actually they played the documentary that won Best Doc played right before us, and I love the documentary. Okay. But they definitely, these film festivals have a theme. And so I definitely think that Hard Drive played into the theme for what they were going for that year, because the documentary that one was like on HIV. And then I was like, oh, wait, are they trying to say something about? Right. Because, you know, it's like, you know, boom, boom. So they played the HIV doc, I think We Are Giants right before, and they called us giants, but it was beautiful. Like, it starts off with like spoken word poetry, and they follow, like, you know, me being a nurse, I really live for stuff like that. They follow like these different people living with HIV/AIDS and their different stories and the time that they had it, and so everybody's like in tears, and then half the audience gets up and leave with that documentary. So I was like, oh my God. Like, once it was over, they left? Like, the audience went out with because I guess they were there for that documentary. And so I was like, no one's gonna see Hard Drive. And it was like probably a good, like at least 25% of the audience left. And it wasn't right before. Well, I'll take that back. That film played, and then one film played right between us. But the problem is the audio was messed up. So, like, you know, when you do these DCPs, you have to send in your audio separate, and all your files are kind of like separate. You have to like download a program to separate it. And so, but back that up. They had us send in the DCP, and they had us send in a poster. And so when we got to the theater, that was my biggest thing, was seeing my poster up in the theater.
Yeah, because I saw you take photos with it.
Yes. Yeah, like seeing the pink, like the poster, and it's already won Best Poster in another film festival. Ooh. But the poster is just phenomenal. Like, Sean Bartley, he shot us, and I was like really in my, never been like a creative director on a photo shoot, but like I was just like, in my head, I could see it, bobbins, all the little trinkets from everything, giving Herbie Fully Loaded, but with black geeks. And so when I saw that, to see a black woman in theaters, like, and then to see her sidekick, I was like, okay, I like this festival. I like this festival a lot. And so like they didn't put everybody's posters up. So it was like 15 films playing that day, but it was only like 3 posters up. Oh, that's that. Ooh. So like out of all of the posters from that day, there was only like 3 up. We counted. It was like one about, and I don't know if all of them won. 2 of them that they put up won. Mine and then the HIV one. They had their poster up. The third one, I'm not sure if they won. But I was like, this is really nice. And we were like, as soon as you walk in the theater, before you go anywhere else, we were like, bam, right there. And I was like, this is my goal as a creative, is I want to see my people in theaters, even though I thought I had to be like white adjacent to do that. Right. I'm now realizing, you know, that no, in order to like showcase your people, you got to be with your people. You got to be in the trenches with your people. You know, you gotta prove it to that audience and that fan base before you try to go and cultivate and captivate a white fan base. Because honestly, black dollars matter, and that is where most of the money is. And it's not just for money. Obviously, the biggest goal is to see us in theaters. And so, like I said, that was a full circle moment, seeing Kaya, seeing Kaya as Candace, and seeing Brian as Trent. And I was just like, to me, it was just like confirmation that I'm in the right place and that this is my future. And so, but I knew what had happened when that when the film before me came on, the sound, I knew that it was because of the DCP files. However, they didn't sync them when they hit play. But that also caused like another 25% of the audience to leave.
Woo. All right, so the pressure's on now.
Yeah, so now we're like down to 50% audience.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I mean, everybody else had like standing ovations after. Like I said, the projects were phenomenal. And then, so we didn't have that. And it was a sad moment, but just to be fully transparent and honest, we didn't have that. But the way that me and my sister was in there screaming, you would have thought we had the, but we did get claps and we did get good feedback. So like afterwards, people were like, oh, I really love the film. But it was just like, it wasn't that like, woo, it was more like a stuck up kind of like crowd after that, you know, not stuck up, but people weren't like,
they were
really
dry.
Like, a little more dry. Like the audience was just like a little more dry. But so we were getting ready to leave after that because I wasn't sure if there was a Q&A or not. And we had stayed for almost like, it was only like an hour left in the programming. So I was like, well, we can go ahead and go. But I was like, getting ready to, so we walked back out. And I had to go back by that man in that
Of
car.
course. I told you kids. No, man.
I did. I had to walk back by them, but no. So this time, no, I remember I said, I put it in my GPS and I said, we're going to walk the long way. But actually it ended up being shorter. And so I get to the car. Well, first of all, we couldn't find the car. That's why we had ended up actually walking by that guy again. But anyways, so I couldn't find the car because there was this weird parking thing. And then I got a text from the festival saying, hey, we want you to come back. Well, they said, are you still here? And I was like, yeah, I'm just in the bathroom.
Right.
So I didn't want them to know I had walked out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I'm in the bathroom. He was like, yeah, because we got to get your Q&A. And I was like, oh, because see, that's the only thing that wasn't communicated. So I was like, I don't know. But I was like, you know, I was sitting in the car, I was having them. I was like, we're going to have to walk by that man again. And I was like, and then my sister was like, no, we'll just go back the long way or whatever. And that was a moment where, like, if you really want something, you can't let anything stop you.
Exactly.
And your fears, everything, a lot of it's just all in your imagination, and you just, like, making things worse. So we walked back out, and it's only like a 2-minute walk. Came back in. This is what's even crazier. Came back in, I started doing the interview. They wanted my sister to be in it too, so I thought that was very nice. And then I'm halfway mid-interview. They get to the question, which character are you most like? And all the lights go out in the theater.
Oh.
All the lights go out in the theater. There's no lights on. And I was like, wow, this is a day.
To say the least.
But then it must have been, it was like an act of God, because the interview was dry at first. So then when we moved it to the new location and we had better lighting, better sound, like we moved from in front of like where they had their backdrop. And then we just vibed, and it was like the best interview. Like they liked the show. We got really great feedback. They, we got into the motivations of Candace. We got into what motivates me, who I'm most like. They asked my sister. I think they said, how hard is it? What's the hardest part about supporting your sister?
That's an interesting question, yeah.
Right, because they were like, well, she had told them that she, was an extra in it, that she sent me some coins to help me finish it, and, all these things. And she was like, well, they were like, what was the hardest part of this experience? And, what's it like being a supporter of a creative? And she was like, well, honestly, it's really easy because she's been doing this her whole life. Like, I've always gone to her plays. She's 7 years younger than me, so she's like 28. And she's like, I go to all her plays. I've always supported her. I've always seen her on stage. So she's like, it's kind of like second nature for me to just want to, and she's like, and she's good at it. So it'd be one thing if, she wasn't. But the conversation was very good. It was, it flowed very well. And I was able to shout out Kaya, because they knew one of the directors were there, and they were like, Kaya had just dropped this video of her getting $1 million at Tribeca. And so they had followed Kaya, and they were like, yeah, I heard about, that's amazing that, that's happened for her. And, Houston, Atlanta, there's always this connection, Houston, Atlanta. So, I feel like in film, Atlanta has a better, more thriving, market film life than Houston does, but they definitely have like a lot happening, just not on the level of Atlanta. But so this film festival in particular has been there for like 13 years, and
it's good running.
Yeah, they've got a pretty good following. They got like 18,000 followers for what they have, and very engaging audience base on their socials. So still waiting to see the Q&A and get that back. But then then we tidied that up, went back. We went to some bougie ass restaurant downtown where apparently it's reservation only, so we had to sit at the bar.
Ooh, that's when you should have hit me up. I went to Houston. In 2020, I think it was like May of 2020. Or 2021, and there was a spot 50-15. Y'all should have went there.
Nice.
Their wings were so good. It's just like a little hookah bar spot.
Okay, super next crazy. Time. But we just didn't want to pay for parking again, so we just went like less than walking distance from where we are. But 50-15, I text my sister and ask her has she ate there before, because she loves some wings. She loves some wings. She loves some wings.
Oh, but finish.
And her boyfriend is a chef, so I'm sure he be knowing some spots sometimes. Yeah, he's a little chef. He be cooking up some stuff.
Not a little chef.
He a little chef. He's still babe. They're younger than me, so I can say that. I'd be like, oh, so cute.
It's like, your little business or your little film. Nah, don't do that.
You right. You right. I want little man him. I want little man him. When I say that, it's really endearing because I'm older than them. So when I say little, I mean like they're young.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Not like, oh, he went to school, he got a degree, and he's a chef.
Right.
But no, so he knows some good spots too. But she had never ate at this place, and we went in, and it was bougie. It was like a yacht club. It was like in some museum, and we went up. We went up to the bar, and I got carded, and I was like, "Oh, okay, thank y'all." And so then the food was great, though. It was really good. And then that night, I was like, okay, well, this is over. It was a day. It was an event. Everything's done. I'm like, cool. And then that was my last day there. Oh, no. We went home because her boyfriend is in love with movies, and he wanted me to see Babylon. So I don't know if you ever seen Babylon. But it's by that director that did La La Land. Something. Yeah. I can't remember his name. But Big Sis was this was like day. I was jet lagged. Yeah. I was tired. The movie's 3 hours long.
Nah. So sick of these long movies.
It was like Bo.
I'm
it's like
so sick of these long movies. I promise you.
Why is it an era of long movies?
Yeah, like every movie has to be 3 hours.
Every movie got to be. What happened to the nice little 90-minute, little cute little 60 to 90-minute setup that we used?
Beginning, middle, end.
We be having 4, 5, 6 acts. But the movie itself, I liked the setting it was set in. It was about Hollywood. So I got halfway through it, and I was doing one of those. Yeah. And so went to sleep after that movie. And then, because, Atlanta's an hour ahead. So before I could even get up good, Kaya's texting me. And I was like, what? Because I'm like, this feels so anticlimactic. Like, half the audience left. I'm like, it was things happening, acts of God, the lights going off. And I was just like, honestly, in shock. Because even though I did Porcelain Chef, Porcelain Chef only got into 2. And then my second project, I never did a film festival. And so this was my first time winning an actual... having a title. Like, well, Porcelain Chef, we won silver, but they rank people based on different things, and not everybody got an award, but we won a silver award, but it wasn't just exclusively for a category. So that was my first time winning best anything besides best poster, and so to win my category, I was like, okay, maybe this was worth the thousands of dollars I've spent on submission fee.
There you go.
And so I was like, but they did. They gave us the director and the people that watched it, they gave me really good feedback. And to me, sometimes feedback is more valuable than the whole experience, because it's about those connections, and it's about finding your audience. And so for me, what I've realized from this film festival, Gambit or Gauntlet, is that you're gonna find your audience, and it's gonna not look like how you think it's gonna look, but I think we're definitely leaning towards a younger audience more so than traditional people that want something new, and people that are future focused, that aren't we're not trying to create another Insecure. You know what I mean? We already had Insecure. We don't need a million black rom-coms that look like that. Right. And so to have a festival that created space for us to wholly be ourselves, just like we're doing right now, that was a blessing. And I definitely would submit to them again. And even with all the little technical issues, it was a very good experience, and I really enjoyed it.
Good deal. My friend, I have to say that I am in awe. When I came to the event, when I was invited by Kaya to the premiere, and just the amount of energy. I mean, we talked about it before, but the amount of energy that you put into that first premiere, and how you came on stage, how your husband supported you and gave you that awesome intro, how you came through with the dress on, and then you switched dresses later. You were in the white john, then the cream white john, then you came in with the green one. You know what I'm saying? You I'm wearing these heels today. I got this braid on today. So,
listen,
you know,
I
so
got time.
you're right. So you came through showing your best, and you were extremely vulnerable. And what I mean by that, as an artist, we're sensitive about our shit. So you got a
Yeah.
chance to really express what you put your blood, sweat, and tears in.
Man.
And for that to come together so well, to have a good time, to basically practice for what's happening now.
Yeah.
Now you get to go to Houston and show it off, and then you get an award for it, and you're still pushing. It's only up for here for you. And I wanted to take time to allow you to tell that story, because it's important that we document these moments, and that you have something to look back on as you continue to grow and strive for yourself, for your family, and anyone else in between that you really want to be involved in this. So it's definitely an honor to be able to hear that and talk about that. And like I said, I just wanted to make sure that you got time to really document what was happening when you won, how that experience was. I appreciate you sharing that. I want you to continue to win. I believe in your work. I believe in what you do. I believe in you. And I know that God has so much more for you. And it's only up from here.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you creating this space for me, as always, where I can, wholly be myself, and obviously the love is felt, and, not many people are going to want to document it and follow your journey and really be interested in these details. But like the memories, if you don't document the journey, you don't even get to appreciate it. So like I one thing I realized is like, so to follow up, it's just like the next week I got a rejection letter for another festival. So it was like coming from, I just won a category to now I can't even show. And I said, but wait a minute, you didn't even take time to be grateful for what you already won.
Right.
So like we're always on to the next thing. And so I'm trying to take time to bask in it. So I appreciate this time to sit, to relive, to appreciate, to thank God, because I didn't have to get into any film festival, and I didn't definitely winning was never on my mind. I was like, if it happens, that's great, but I was like, I just want to find my audience. I just want to get this project out there, and if we get awards along the way, even better. But I just want to get eyes on it, and so grateful that we got eyes on it, and that it could be in a theater. Still substantial amount of people, and it's just.
Awesome.
These days that, I'll look back on one day, hopefully very fondly of, and I appreciate you for being a part of this journey.
Ain't nothing. Like I said, we friends for real. I told you that when you were on the guest on my podcast. You're the homie now.
You did.
So, and we got to keep this going.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Yes,
like I said, to be able to share that is awesome. And I know I text you for weeks, like, we are talking about this. We are going to talk about this.
You did.
And so being able to record it, and for you to keep this, however you want to use it, however you want to see it, or just to come back just to get inspiration, you can just watch it and then just remember everything that you went through, everything that you endured, the cat calling, the bad weather, the bougie food, halfway through Babylon just to get here. Yeah, you definitely
that is the highlight reel. That is it.
You definitely did your thing, and you deserve this with the stories that you've shared for me. You definitely deserve this.
You.
No problem. And I'm looking forward to hearing more. I promise you I am.
Thank you. Hopefully more to come.
And there'll definitely be more to come. So, and then we'll just have another session where we could talk about it.
Hey.
And there it is.
Here for it.
Me too.